And we are following developing news right now. Governor Cuomo is in Rockland, New York, where he's been talking to the community about the new bail reform law. Also, sources tell CBSN New York that New York Governor Cuomo is expected to announce new measures to keep vulnerable communities safe in the wake of the vicious attack on a Rockland synagogue last month. And right now, the governor is in Earmark, New York. Let's take a listen in.
The governor for his preparedness and always being a leader, a true leader with actions, whatever is necessary.
Thank you.
And now my pleasure, I want to introduce to you Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you. Thank you very much. First to Mayor Spitzer. He talks about leadership. He should know. If he wants to see leadership, he should look in the mirror, because that's where leadership exists. You often see what a leader is made of at a time of crisis and how people respond. And Mayor Spitzer has been a rock for the community. He's been comforting and calm, but he's also been a strong advocate for the community. And I have such respect for him. Let's give Mayor Spitzer a round of applause. We have Rabbi Rottenberg here. We are all very sorry for the pain that he has felt, but I have to tell you, he came and spoke at the State of the State, speaking to the whole legislature about what happened, and he was such an inspiration. And again, no anger, no retribution. He truly inspired the entire congregation. So let's thank Rabbi Rottenberg for everything he's done and for everything he's been through. Joseph Gluck, who is the hero who thwarted the assailant, and we recognized him at the State of the State. He deserves a round of applause. We have with us from my team Robert Mahica, who is the budget director. We have Michael Copey, the director of New York State Emergency Management. We have Kevin Bruin, who you'll hear from in a moment, who's the first deputy superintendent of the New York State Police. And we have Joe Tripoto. It's an Italian name. I shouldn't have a problem with that. Colonel, New York State Police. I'm going to put this away also, as the mayor did, because this is a message that is easy because it comes from the heart. We still grieve what happened in Muncie. The entire state grieves. They're shocked, surprised, repulsed by what happened in Muncie. But the situation is actually worse than just what happened in Muncie. Muncie was not an isolated incident. It was the most egregious, the most violent, the most damaging. But we had seen scores of anti-Semitic activity all throughout this state. As recent as this past weekend, we've seen acts of violence and anti-Semitic activity all across this nation. We were observers for a long time and wanted to believe that that couldn't happen here, right? What happened in Pittsburgh couldn't happen in New York. What happened in California couldn't happen in New York, until it happened in New York. And I refer to it as a cancer, an American cancer that is spreading through the body politic. And it's a cancer because one cell in the body attacks other cells in the body. And once this country gets to a place where it starts to demonize by religion or race, well, then we have lost who we are, right? This is a nation founded on religious freedom. George Washington went to a synagogue, worshiped with the congregation, sent a letter afterwards saying essentially what this nation is about is freedom of religion and everyone having the right to pray to their own God and being safe in that practice. So, hence, having lost the soul of the nation. It is ignorant, it is intolerant, it's also illegal. And while we pray for solidarity, we march for solidarity, we gather together for solidarity, government has an additional obligation, which is the obligation to act. Government officials are not in the prayer business. They can join in, but they are in the business of acting. And the number one responsibility of government is to keep people safe. That is the first responsibility, to protect the public. So I pledged when I was here last time that the state government would take action, and dramatic action, and action on all fronts. And we announced a program in the state that does that, and we're going to follow up today to address a specific request that was made the last time I was in this room in response to Muncie. Statewide, what we're going to be doing is to combat the ignorance. I want to see every New York State public school teach our young people, our children, about diversity and racial tolerance and what it means to be an American and what this nation was really founded on. I want a cultural awareness specifically about the Jewish community. And I want to expand the Holocaust Museum that we have in New York City, which is a great facility. And I want to see school children going through that Holocaust Museum as part of their education. Understand what happened to the Jewish community. Understand the relationship between the Jewish community and New York State. And understand that New York would not be New York without the Jewish community. We're organizing faith leaders all across the state, because whether it is Judaism or Christianity or Hinduism, every religion has the same basic concept that the strongest four-letter word is love and not hate, and it is about tolerance. So leadership from our faith community, and more security, because that is the fundamental obligation. And we want more funding for more state police in the hate crimes unit. I want a domestic terrorism law that prosecutes what we saw in Muncie as what it was, which was a form of terrorism. When you attack a large number of people based on their religion, based on their race, you are a terrorist. Terrorist doesn't have to come in on a plane. Terrorist doesn't have to be some foreign cell. You can have a terrorist who is American-born. And that's what domestic terrorism speaks to. And we want to pass that law. And we want to provide more funding for schools, religious organizations, to put in security measures. We have great new technology that can go a long way. And when I was here, Mayor Spitzer talked about license plate readers, which is a fantastic piece of technology. That is actually how we caught the Muncie assailant. We had a human license plate reader, Joseph Gluck, who actually got the license plate after the attack, but then an electronic license plate reader found that plate on that car going over the George Washington Bridge. License plate readers mean you can see everyone coming into the community and everyone going out. You have the time, you have the license plate, and then we have license plate readers all around the state, on highways, tunnels, bridges, etc. So if anybody thinks about attacking the community, they better think again, because we will know, we will find out, and we will prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. Mayor Spitzer said he wanted more license plate readers. I said, can't we just get 100 Joseph Glucks and put them on all the corners? He said, no, we need an electronic system. So today it's my pleasure to announce $340,000 to install those license plate readers all throughout the community as a safety device. And this is just the beginning. We're going to implement the agenda that I laid out in the State of the State. I want everyone to know that we have learned from Muncie, a painful lesson. We've learned from what's going on, and we will respond, and we will react, and we will do everything in our power on every level to make sure this horrific act doesn't happen again. With that, let me turn it over to the First Deputy of the State Police, Kevin Bruin.
Thank you, Governor. Good morning. Just some further background on license plate readers. As the governor has said, license plate readers can help keep our communities safe and fight against these disturbing acts of hate. Automatic license plate readers, or LPRs as they're commonly known, are high-speed computerized cameras that can be mounted on telephone poles, street lights, highway overpasses, in mobile trailers, or on the backs of police cars. License plate readers function by capturing all license plate numbers that come into view, along with the location, date, and time. That data, which includes a photograph of the vehicle, is then uploaded to a central server and relayed and shared among police agencies. And as the governor has said, one example of how critical this technology can be is that a license plate reader mounted on the George Washington Bridge helped track the Muncie attacker and ultimately leading to his arrest. So this funding will install the license plate readers in New Square and in Muncie. It will not only help us capture criminals, it will also help us deter folks from committing these acts in the first place. And now it's my honor to introduce the brave man who risked his life not only to stop the Muncie attacker, but also, as the governor said, memorize the license plate number and all that chaos. Joseph Gluck.
Good morning, Governor. Good morning, Supervisor. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming back to our community this morning and for your unwavering support always. When our community was attacked earlier this month, Governor Cuomo was here in less than 10 hours to stand arm in arm with us through our worst nightmares. He demonstrated that true leadership demands action, not just words. By memorizing the license plate number, I was able, with God's help, nothing me, it was only God that helped me, made me go find it, to help the police track down the attacker by the cameras on the bridge. But this would not have been possible without the license plate readers on the bridge. Nobody wouldn't have helped. Nothing. I'm grateful to the governor for his continued support to our community, expanding these technologies in our community, and hopefully it will prevent future attacks from us forever. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you to all who are here. We'll take any on-topic questions. I'll then take off-topic questions so my colleagues can get on with their day. Any questions for myself or Mayor Spitzer? Anyone who's here?
Governor, would you support, there's a robust discussion in Albany right now about perhaps adding hate crimes to the bail reform, tweaking the reform a little bit. Would you support that?
Yeah, the bail reform issue, I'm very proud of what we did last year, because the bail system was inherently unjust. The bail system was dependent on wealth, not merit, not risk of flight. It was all about wealth. If you can make bail, you'd stay out of jail. If you can't make bail, you would be in jail. So it shouldn't be about how rich you are, right? The justice system is supposed to be blind to wealth. So we made significant reforms. They just went into effect officially January 1, as you know. We are now looking at the effect of those changes and considering other changes. It's a complicated system. You make one change in one part of the system, it has ramifications in other parts of the system. So that's what we're evaluating now. And we have an open discussion, and we're speaking to all sorts of engaged and informed sources. And over the next few weeks, we'll be having the conversation with the legislature as to what adjustments do we want to make.
Governor, talking to members of the community and to security experts, they've said that this is a soft target, that they need more money in order to harden up their security. Will there be other money from this state to help them do that with license plate readers?
Short answer is yes. We made $45 million additional available. I'm going to have a proposal in our state budget. The budget director is here, Robert Mejica, for additional security funds. And license plate readers are a way to harden the security. They are the highest tech that we have. The license plate readers, as you heard from the first deputy, you can put them basically anywhere, and they capture every vehicle, every license plate coming down that road. They can run it against a database and then have an alert if that plate triggers an alert. So it's one of the best technological answers that we have, and we're moving ahead to put it in this community.
So will the license plate readers be controlled by the Ramapo police, by the state police? And how many license plate readers will this run?
You want to speak to that, Ken?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure of the numbers of license plate readers, and the community and the Ramapo police will put them in the locations that they think is most appropriate, and they will share them with the state police. And that can be further shared with other law enforcement agencies.
But, how will you be able to determine if there's somebody coming into the community with wanting to do that?
Well, you hope that the knowledge that this kind of technology is in place makes them think about not doing it and going somewhere else, or not doing it at all. But there are other things. For example, if someone is engaging in these acts on a lower level and is wanted for hateful activity, racist graffiti, that sort of thing, and there's an arrest warrant out for them, that triggering of the LPR can result in them immediately being arrested, which would prevent an act. It's sometimes hard to show how something didn't happen, but that's the way it would be prevented.
So it's also a deterrent.
It's a deterrent, and in fact could result in somebody being arrested on a more minor offense when they had something more dramatic planned.
We have been watching a press conference out of Earmark, New York. That's where Governor Andrew Cuomo addressed the concerning rise of anti-Semitic attacks. He announced new measures to keep vulnerable communities safe. This comes in the wake of the vicious attack on a Rockland synagogue last month. Governor Cuomo says he wants New York State public schools to increase their teachings about diversity. He also wants to expand the Holocaust Museum in New York City. Now, as well, he says he wants to provide more funding for state police in the hate crimes unit and increase funding for security measures in schools. Cuomo also spoke about implementing license plate readers, technology that could help track attackers and help deter people from committing attacks in the first place. The governor was also asked about the state's new criminal justice reform laws and the effects of these changes on these anti-Semitic attacks. He says he is looking into it.